I mean, that it's really a lot more of an active process on the part of the cartels to create uh, um, uh, refugees, basically, as a established profit-making kind of operation they have. When drug smuggling and such plateaus, they need something to boost revenue, and they find that the sort of human trafficking fits the bill. And what they do is fixers in the cartel will intimidate families, with children, and basically drive them to the coyotes who also work for the cartel. And these people explain to them, like, the only way you can save your kid is to send them to the U.S. where they might get, allowed in because they're from Central America. And the process, and basically, the families have to come up with whatever cash they can to pay the coyotes and get the kids out of the country. So it's basically they target families. It's not like just that there's an air of violence everywhere, which may very well be the case, but it's more focused and it's run like a business.
I'll tell you something. I don't doubt that there's some of that, but I don't think that it is. I don't think that is. I personally don't. And I haven't read anything to that effect, and so maybe that's if you send me an email with that person, I would love to talk to them about that to find out where the data is that supports that. I don't doubt that that's a dynamic that's going on, but it seems to me that you could also just drive that business by charging basically a fee. Here's a protection racket. You know what I mean? I mean,
well, yeah, but that's limited because. Then you're always, you're offering them an out. You're offering them an attractive solution to a problem. Here's a political situation you can exploit.
Perhaps,
go to a coyote.
Perhaps it's possible. It's possible. But I find it hard to believe that they would be able to expend those type of resources to focus on that many specific families. But nevertheless, the
mob does the same thing.
Yes, but why expend money on actually transporting these children? Why not just say, give us $5,000 and you've just bought yourself 3 years?
I think though the other thing.
Well, maybe they do some of that.
They very well may, but it may be the case. It may be the case, but I find that a little bit hard to believe that is the main driver. Look, at the end of the day, you need the demand. And if there's, specific families that are being targeted, it just seems to me that the coyotes could reduce their overhead by just simply saying, pay us a protection fee.
Well,
we don't have to do anything.
The thing that's totally
it's a two-pronged attack. The coyotes are not extorting the families. The coyotes are supposedly the relief.
I understand, but they work for the same people, theoretically, right? And so it would be it would be far more efficient to simply say, pay us a protection fee.
But the thing that's totally documented and not a debate is that some of these gangs very specifically are targeting children in the same way you would get child soldiers in a conflict.
That is
very prime reason.
That is what is happening.
There's no debate about that part of it. And the other thing too is I think some of these gangs in Central America and also in Mexico they operate at such an extraordinary level of violence that it makes like Colombian cartels in like the 80s and 90s look mild by comparison. And I think part of it is just undermining any faith and confidence in the state.
Yes.
Period.
Definitely.
And it gives people a complete sense of lack of security. I mean, there's this newspaper in Mexico that did a front page editorial in one of the states saying, basically, could you tell us what not to write so you stop killing us?
Right.
We don't know what it is that's upsetting you. But I think that particularly the recruiting children is a major specific issue.
Yes, this story goes on into what's happening in the schools, and basically, these school kids are afraid to go to school because that basically makes a target of them. These schools are run by basically recruiters, and they are for the cartel. So it may be the case that some of that's happening, but I don't think that's the prime driver. I'm happy to I imagine it's a mix of things.